Yo. What up? Hey. We're just here waiting for our girl Sheba. Wait, Sheba. Technology girl. Any minute now, she's coming. Hey! Come in.
Hello, ladies. Can you hear me?
How are you?
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
I had all kinds of sunshine, and then the sunshine left me. But
you know what? I'm just so happy. Yesterday,
girl, at least
a few times this week, I could go outside without a jacket,
which was nice to get some form of air.
It was, you know what, and that's the problem. Like, I went running yesterday.
Nice.
Perfectly fine. Then I went for a nice walk today.
Good.
No jacket. I'm about to leave after this. No jacket. It's actually scary now because how do you force people to stay home?
Well, that's what I heard that the numbers have gone up because people are going to the park, man. They're not going to sit at home. We know what winters are like in Canada. We literally get a few weeks of summer.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe
like
so it's
2 months.
It's interesting because I'm literally looking at Queens Quay right now from where I'm looking. Like, my eyes are looking, and bicycles are going everywhere. People are walking and running.
That the pandemic was over. The way how people are just out and about.
Yeah. No, they're out and about. They're out and about.
They're living
so,
their
you know,
life.
the parks are packed. It's just, it's an interesting time. So, you know, our topic, I think, is very interesting because as people start going out, they start spending money and they start doing all kinds of things. So the great thing, I guess, about being locked down is most of us, except for those who kept shopping on Amazon,
right?
Saved money.
You know, Amazon has come through for me a couple of times.
Yeah,
I mean Amazon comes through for me. My book is on Amazon.
You know,
it's a way to cheer myself up in this pandemic situation.
My book is on Amazon, so
Amazon's
good for me. Right? Right? Amazon's. I actually have a plug. I have my second book here. I ordered my own books, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone, please jump on.
Support everything Black.
Support everything Black. Click on the link.
And click on the bio.
Support Black business.
So this is now interesting because, of course, this week's topic is, you know, hashtag kind of support everything Black. And do people feel an obligation when they are Black to hashtag support everything Black? So it's going to be an interesting topic. You know, if people feel free to join in and make comments. But, you know, we have always made a conscious effort to support Black businesses. When we go to dinner, when we're going to events, like, we've made a conscious effort.
Right.
Why do you think we've done that? Like, what is it? Because I don't think anything special about us that we do that, but we make a conscious effort to do that. I've always wondered, like, I know why I do that. Why do you ladies, like, choose to make a conscious effort to support Black?
Do you want to go
well,
first?
I guess because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I love seeing my people reap the reward. I mean, like we said in a few episodes before, everyone, you know, like the Jews, you know, they rep other Jews. The East Indians, they rep the East Indians. And I just feel like, well, I'm Black. And yes, I support other nationalities, whatever business it is. But when it comes to, like, my people, I just feel like my dollars should be spent with them as much as I can. I feel like and no one's forcing me to do it. I'm not feeling like it's a must support. But I just take it upon myself to just feel like I want to help my brothers and sisters out because I hope in turn they'd help me out. So I don't know. That's how I see it. I just feel like I feel good when I help my people. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Agreed.
Yeah.
For me, girl, why is your sound on? It's very distracting. Sorry. The reason why I support Black is because I want to help build Black wealth. Money in the Black community is new money. And that's why instantly when someone starts saying, oh, these people with new money, all this new money coming in, I instantly think that's racism. Because what you're saying is that anyone that doesn't look like your shade of pale makes money, therefore it's not justified just because it's not generational wealth, which a lot of, Caucasian money comes from. So I am trying to help build the new money aspect so that we can have grandkids and great grandkids that can say, my grandmother had an amazing company, my grandfather had this and that. I mean, it's not, in some countries, like even in Jamaica, it's normal and natural to have parents that had their own businesses. That's how, all of us who can speak about our great grandparents and our grandparents.
And our parents' parents, like our parents themselves.
They had businesses, and it was very normal to build your own wealth. But
definitely.
For a lot of North American Blacks, it's not actually natural to have wealth in the family. So I'm trying to contribute because I know how hard it is for us.
Absolutely.
To even really, we don't have the startup money of, 50K to go market. We don't have VCs knocking our door down to give us money. So if it's just me and like 500 other people, we can, help by supporting. Whether it means buying, whether it means talking about the business online, about how amazing it is, and promoting the fact that, hey, a Black woman or a Black man or a Black family runs this business. So you should support it.
Definitely.
Amen. And thank you for the person that's commenting. I thank you so much for being interactive. I think this is great. And I agree with both of you. That's, for me, I agree with the, the generational wealth and building or rebuilding a Black economy, because of course we had a Black economy back in the US, which they burnt the hell down.
Girl.
Right? And you're right. Being from Jamaica, being from the Caribbean, I've seen generational wealth. I've seen it go through generations. It's not as familiar, I think, in North America and other parts of the world, where you also see it in Africa. You see it in countries where we didn't have any other choice. We just had to build, and we built with very little. And you're so right. No one's knocking on our door giving us the funds. And even when we have our ducks in a row and we go to the lenders, a lot of the times we are rated very differently because we are a Black business than other business. So for me, I think it's incumbent on me, if I'm going to spend my dollars, I'm going to choose to try and spend my dollars in my community. Now, I will say, sometimes it's very difficult. I won't lie. Right?
Sometimes it is hard.
We all know. Sometimes it's very difficult to patronize Black businesses. Right? It is just the reality. I made a business consulting out of making sure that Black businesses could compete, because the reality, we're not competing because of the stigma a lot of Black businesses have. And we see all the memes and we see all of that. But even with that said, and we're going to go into the Black AF episode, which I think I watched like 3 times this week to prepare for the episode.
I had that cute. I was just waiting for
Black AF.
Win.
Everyone says.
And listen, if you have not watched, if you're watching us and you've not watched #Black AF Kenya Barris, don't listen to what all of the other people are saying. Trust us. We are to be trusted. You watch #Black AF. It is a great show. And again, we support everything Black.
Hate comes from certain, certain regions or whatever. I've been talking to, people that have grown up in, my generation, here in Canada, and they love the show. They're like, the show's genius. It's like, it's finally talking about everything. That
it's the truth. I mean,
this is what we're all talking about.
That's everything because of slavery. Kenya says that it's because of slavery.
It's true.
It's because of slavery.
And maybe that hits a chord with people, but it's the truth. I mean, you can't hate on facts.
Slavery. So we do things because of slavery.
Girl,
So, you know, that particular episode, and we don't want to ruin for everybody, but it is very interesting because it strikes that interesting balance of a Black person that's made it, you know, is the new money Black person, and then his family members who haven't made it, and there are differing opinions about what it means to #support everything Black. And then even within his household, you got his wife, who with all intents and purposes is half Black, as she likes to make note of, but she's really Black, like she's Black. Like, she might be half Black, but she's Black. Right? And so you have her who's like, we supposed to support everything Black, and you're like, you've got Kenya who's like, but if it sucks and we don't like it, don't we have an obligation to say it sucks?
It's so double-sided.
So here's my thing. And the thing is, I see Kenya's side of it because, you know, he is a creative. At the end of the day, like, seriously, this man he makes films, he makes TV, he's a writer, meaning that he went to, you know, university where he learned from the classics, being, you know, Citizen Kane, The Godfather, a lot
Scarface.
Of, you know, white films, right? Yeah. But highly acclaimed, meaning for every 10 people, probably 8 of the 10 had seen those movies, even if by accident.
Right.
You know, like Star Wars and all of this stuff, right? And basically what he's saying is I've studied film. I know what is actually good. If my brother makes a film and it's not up to the standards of, say, The Godfather, don't I have a right to be like, look, dude, it doesn't matter. And he would actually say, dude.
Right.
Look, dude, he would say, this sucks. And it needs, you know, where's the structure? Where's the story? Where, you know, that's what he would say. But the thing is that, and yeah, I can't give away the episode. But after, you know, being enlightened by a few different people that are in the industry, he comes to this point to realize that, you know, in a way, we're almost building and what I got from it is we're almost building our own genre of film, right? Like, we don't compare Medea to, you know, Michael Corleone from The Godfather. They're two different films. It's 2 different genres.
Exactly.
There's, you know, Black film. There are Black books. There's Black art. There's, you know, Black whatever. And our art is meant for us.
It's not going to be Mona Lisa.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a separate thing. But he also brought up a point which I found interesting. He said, "Why does it always have to be Black director? Why can't I just be a director?" But the thing is, it's that we will never be just directors because the way the world is set up, society is set up to be like,
you're Black
author. But here's the thing. When I know, for someone who is very Issa Rae, so we're going to go like, you know, Issa Rae said, I'm here to support everybody Black, right?
Everybody Black.
Everybody Black. So here's my thing. When I hear that something has been directed by a Black person, written by a Black person, I personally am more likely to go see it. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be straight. Yes, like you said, there are some classic movies. Of my top 5, you know, movies of all time, only one has a predominantly white cast, and that's The Usual Suspects. Because it's The Usual Suspects, and it's an amazing movie, right? But like, I personally, when I hear something has a Black writer, anything, I'm like, oh crap, I should go see that. I should go spend my money, because I know how difficult it is for a Black director, Black producer, Black writer, Black anything to be able to get to that pinnacle so that they're actually producing things that are out. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Now, if I don't like it, I'm not going to say to the masses I don't like it. I'm going to say it to my own people. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm not going to go, I say on Facebook, where I have a multicultural group of people, and say, yo, that movie sucked and you shouldn't go see that movie, because what I'm doing is taking money out of my community. That's my, if other people want to do that, that's fine. But personally, for me, I'll say it to you guys. I'll say it to my other people, Black friends,
I'm not going to say it to my Caucasian friend.
Right? No, but you know what? And that's why, you know, that's why I mentioned the genre, like Black genre, because it's almost kind of like, you know, this saying that's like, oh, that's white people business. Some things are black people business. And yeah, and it's a thing where I'm like, I don't need to discuss Medea or discuss empire or power with my girl Becky.
No. You can do that because, you know, if you have anything you want to say about those shows, you talk about amongst your people.
Right.
Like
and,
when,
you know, like Becky and I can talk about, I don't know, like
ER or something.
Yeah.
Or Grey's Anatomy.
Friends or whatever.
There you go. Grey's Anatomy.
I don't watch Friends. I never did.
Never have because there are no black people on it.
No, but
that's their thing. So,
even when I didn't care, you know, when I was younger and didn't know any better, you know, I was watching The Hills, which didn't have any black people in it. And up till this day, it's like, I still like the show.
Oh, yeah, because it's an acquired taste.
Right. But now that I know better, right? It's like, why didn't they power or empire or any of these things with, you know, Robert?
And that's yeah. I don't know. I support everything black. Like when Black Panther came out, even before anyone knew what if it was gonna be good or who cares.
Right, we didn't even know what it was.
I don't care how.
I didn't care.
It is. It's by a black director with a full-on black cast. Only one white man is in it. We're gonna support this film at all costs. People showed up in African garbs. People went to go. We saw it at least 5 times in the theater purposely.
You guys beat me. I only did it twice.
No, girl, I was obsessed.
I needed to see at least 100 million on those. Yep. You know what I mean?
And when it beat Titanic, I was like, all right.
Then we can go sit down.
You can sit down now. Okay. Because, you know, as you guys were saying, it's hard for us to excel. One, because, well, another story too, because we can't even get along in the first place to excel. But that's a different story. When we do come together and we see what happens, we get justice to some degree. We are able to build people's businesses when we come together and we support one another. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that there's always going to be a teeter-totter when it comes to black and, you know, how do I put it? A teeter-totter in the terms of, you know, saying if something sucks versus not, you know, and not supporting it. But like you're saying with Medea, okay, so what? The film is not exactly the greatest film of all time, but you go and you watch it anyway.
But it's funny and it's entertaining.
It's funny.
Makes people laugh. And I do like Tyler Perry.
I like it too.
Yeah, but that's the great thing, and I'm going to give this part away. When Kenya does have that conversation with Tyler Perry in that episode, Tyler was very clear. I'm not making my movie for the masses. I'm making it for us.
That's it.
Simple. Plain and simple.
Yeah, it's a niche. And the black, you know, it's kind of like, you know, when Rihanna decided to build Fenty, her marketing, she could have had a bunch of blonde white girls in her marketing.
Absolutely.
And market to every white girl, like almost.
That's the majority of the.
But she made a point of getting, you know, a lot of different shades of black in her marketing because she was like, I don't care if I don't sell any beige concealer. I'm here to actually sell concealer to girls my complexion and darker.
Exactly. And the funny thing is when she did that, all of a sudden you saw Maybelline, L'Oreal, Estee Lauder.
Everybody was having shades.
They want to throw makeup at us. Oh, this is great for dark skin. This is great for like, oh, so now we matter. Okay.
Yes, because Rihanna prove to them that we have money to spend.
Thank you. We have money.
That's the thing.
We have buying power. And that we talked about that before in one of our episodes about the fact that we have buying power and you wield your buying power. The moment you choose to spend your, whether it's $5 or $5,000, okay, you have power because you are making an option. I'm either going to build this community or this community. I'm going to build this business or that business. And the moment people realize, holy crap, Fenty is actually outselling these makeup lines who have a history of being. Everybody knows, maybe it's Maybelline, everybody knows who is CoverGirl, everybody, right? And all of a sudden,
for months.
Thank you. I was in New York going to different Sephora's to try and find Fenty, and it was sold out.
Some piece of Fenty.
And they realized we had buying power, and that's when they started marketing to us. And see, that's the issue. We shouldn't wait until white people realize that we have buying power to wield our buying power.
Girl, yes, and that's not to give away the show. But that's another thing that I like Tyler Perry said. Why are we so much looking for Caucasian validation? Why? I mean, I get it, yes, because of slavery.
I want
but,
an Oscar.
you know,
what does winning an Oscar actually do? Does it make everything better? I worked with, like, back in my acting days, I did a voiceover situation.
Oh yeah,
and that little short film actually won an Oscar. And the writer of that thing, he won an Oscar. And he's like, Curcia, these things don't. I actually held it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. If it was social media days, I would still have that stupid photo. But it's all about, he's like, Curcia, this doesn't change my career. I am not now going to be accepted in every single studio and Columbia and Universal. They're not gonna. He's like, this. I'm back to day one. I have to write something that's better now.
You always have to.
It's actually right. It's actually harder for someone after they win an Oscar. It's actually a bit
because all of a sudden it's like, was it a fluke? Was their career a fluke? Now you're trying to simply go, oh my God, now that I got this, I now have to do something better. And people are waiting for you to fail. People are waiting for this person to fail now. Like, oh, you won. Let's see what you do next.
Exactly. That's it. With that, you know, it's like, okay, you can have that award sitting on your mantle, because he lives downtown Toronto in a cute little house with the thing on the mantle. Or you can be Tyler Perry, who hasn't won an Oscar, yet we saw the land that he has built for his studio. He has mansions on the land to film all these TV shows.
I'd rather have that than an Oscar.
And he doesn't have no bloody Oscar. So what is that telling us?
What does that say? Some people
and I'm driven by the studio in Atlanta before it was completely built, and that place is massive.
Girl,
like it is massive, and you're so white. It goes white. It goes back to white validation, right?
Yeah.
Why do you need because it's usually white validation. It's just like when Kenya talks in the first episode about the white gaze, and how much white gaze, a lot of white gaze matters to us. Why does the white gaze matter? Why does it matter that the white person look at you because you're in a certain neighborhood or a certain car or having certain jewelry? Why does that all matter?
Right. Why does it matter? Because sometimes I'm like, you know what? Like, why does it matter if, you know, like in the show Black AF, where, you know, Kenya's driving a car that looks like it's from Fast and the Furious.
From
he gets offended by that because he's like, oh, you're comparing me to gangsters driving cars in this gang movie. And it's like, wait a minute, though. Why do we care?
Why do we care?
Why do we care what they think? Because at the end of the day,
are they paying your bills?
They don't pay your bills, and they're probably not buying your stuff either. And at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, they don't know the struggle. Like, I'm sure Kenya, he was
broke as a writer. His wife had to support his entire career.
Because she's a doctor.
Yeah. And it's just now he's making more money than her. But she had to carry him throughout all these years.
No one knew his struggle. So if this man wants to wear, Balenciaga all day with 6 chains and look like
made from rose gold and train tracks,
and and take a PJ so he can go to the PI,
then he should. He absolutely should.
And I believe
if P. Diddy wants to have a yacht party where everyone's wearing all white, then he should, because we worked our asses off for it. We earned it.
And we talk about it all the time, the fact that we always have to be at 150%.
Always.
So you don't tell me when you can coax by at 90 and people applaud you and say that you did a good job at something, when I constantly have to be at 150%.
All day,
if I choose to do whatever I choose to do with my money is what I choose to do with my money. I don't need your okay. I don't need your validation. But so much of us are looking for white validation. And you're so right. When Tyler said that, it was kind of like, I'm not making it for others. I'm making it for us. You can relate to Big Mama. So a lot of people have a Big Mama or the crazy auntie or the uncle you don't really want to come, but he's hella funny. Or you can relate to those people. I don't necessarily relate to the Godfather or to those movies. What makes them cinematic great and movie enough?
The thing is that I grew up on a lot of like action films and gangster films, so I like them. But the problem is, and when a movie like American Gangster came out with Denzel Washington,
that was bomb.
As a kid, I was like, or as a teenager, I was like, yes, finally a gangster film about a Don that's a black guy. And it was like a pure black cast where, there were a few like white cops cast, whatever. But it was nice to see a black guy in the role of a Don, of a Godfather type figure. And I appreciated that because I could relate to that. You know, they were in Detroit, they were in Brooklyn, they were, you know, all over the place, driving big cars. They cared about fur coats and jewels and stuff. A different perspective of gang life versus the American Italian, you know, that's, you know, going to the Catholic Church. Here is the Black version of that. And I loved it. And I think that we need to embrace these films that are saying, hey, yo, just so y'all know, we did have, you know, Black gangsters. We did have, you know, there are families that go to the cookout, and, you know, this is what it's like for a Black family to go on vacation. You know, this is what it's like to be a Black kid, you know, whatever, with the family. Like, these stories need to be told.
They need to be told.
We can't. And they're important for us. It's for us. And I'm going to give away another part of that episode of Black AF, but it was funny because his cousin I thought was hilarious, right? His cousin was killing me in that episode.
Literally, I think I heard one, like, I watched it about 3 times, that one part, because I'm like, I can't.
So it's too much.
That guy
I think hilarious. But he brought up a point where at one point, Kenny had to sit back like, yo, when he was talking about, you know, comparing Joanna Man to, say, you know, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Exactly.
And he was like, what's the difference? Mrs. Doubtfire was a white man in a wig, rest in peace, Robin Williams. But it was the same with Joanna Man.
Right.
Get somebody to win. What made Mrs. Doubtfire a classic, but Joanna Man was ghetto.
Exactly.
Right? Like, what makes us think that way?
When Mrs. Doubtfire was always in the classic.
Well, it also works in music too, right? Like, I always say to people, I'm like,
oh, girl.
And even, and I've met a lot of White people that agree with me. Not to say that validates anything.
No.
But I always bring up Elvis. I'm like, listen, Elvis stole everything he ever did.
From
every song, every move, everything he wore, his hair, everything was stolen.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we can tie it back to these artists back in the day. And when they were doing it, no one was paying no attention to it. People were like, oh, these ghetto Black people
in the clubs dancing like they're crazy.
Slaves. He was doing it for this prominently white audience and getting praised for it, and became the king of rock and roll.
Allegedly.
And he didn't even invent rock and roll.
He didn't invent it. Black people invented rock and roll. If you want to discuss
it, message me. I will. Or
we'll back you up.
All day. But, you know, it's the idea of this idea where it's like, oh, if it's not white, it's not right.
And so I'm just not going to say, like, I'm just not, if I don't like something Black, I'm not
going to say it.
I'm not going to say it. Like, because at the end of the day, if I say it, to me, I will say it to, you know, if I have a bad experience at a business, I'm going to say it to the business owner.
That's
right.
It.
Right?
Exactly.
If I order something online, I'm going to go to the person that I need to go to. I am not going to blast a Black business online.
No.
And give it, like, it would have to be really bad. Like, they would have had to just rip me off, stole all my money. Like, it would have, and even then I would say it to a group of Black people. Right. Like, I wouldn't go on Yelp.
No.
unless I did some, like, scam and it was some pyramid scheme. Yeah, like some pyramid scheme, and I need people to know. I still wouldn't say it was Black. I'd just be like, watch out for this company, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's one of those things where, you know, when Issa said it, I died, and she got a lot of backlash for it. She got a lot of backlash when she said, I'm here to support everybody Black. And there's nothing wrong with us supporting our people.
It's sad that she got backlash for supporting her own.
At the same time, when Asians support Asians,
like when
dirty.
What we call again? Something rich Asians. That's
rich Asians.
You know, all the Asians people went out to see it,
and it was a big.
Look, as a person that's a part of a group, I say good for y'all. I'm happy for
Absolutely.
You know
that
support
you
got this movie. You should go out and support your people.
Absolutely,
the world needs more support. Go support your people.
You should.
I don't have an issue with that because it's not my business.
I'm not Asian.
But the problem is people associate being pro-Black with being anti-white. The two are not mutually exclusive. I can be pro-Black. It doesn't mean I'm anti-white.
Exactly.
I like people who look like me. I support people who look like me. People who look like me, I can understand the struggle of people who look like me. And that crosses any type of, you know, financial boundaries. Rich or poor, Black people issues are still Black people issues.
Girl.
Except, I guess, if you're Michael Jordan, where he says he doesn't. But anyways, that's another story altogether.
Girl, that's another episode right there. Girl.
Because Michael Jackson, apparently Michael Jordan, his level of black is very different than mine. But I won't go there. The last dance, I have to finish the last few episodes. That
took me off guard. I was like, wait, what?
You know, like I always say to people, I have a saying where it's like, there are a lot of black men that have white men privilege.
And he is one of them.
I mean, we can talk about that another day, but
that's another episode right there.
But catch him slipping in a hoodie in the wrong neighborhood, and people don't know he's Michael Jordan. See what's up.
And that's the thing. That's why you should never allow the world to trick you.
Don't let the world trick you, boo.
I'm saying to all my brothers and sisters out there, no matter what, don't let this world trick you and make you think.
Make you think that you're on the
catch
same
him in a dark alley. Dark alley. Thank you. Because he's got the privilege as long as people know he's Michael Jordan. When he's in a dark hoodie, jogging down the street in an unfamiliar neighborhood, because maybe he doesn't black in, you're another nigga.
I mean, it happens in our neighborhood. It happens to Michael Jackson, you know, Mariah Carey, you know, a lot of people where they get caught up in the I'm accepted, and then
everything's
they
good
learn
now
their lesson,
like
and then they're like, oh hell.
And then they have to crawl back to us.
Change.
No, they're crawl back.
You know, and that brings up a really interesting point. I'm glad you guys brought up these two people, because I want to bring up someone, and it's a very controversial, but I'm going to bring up anyways. R. Kelly. So here's the thing. On the show, that same episode, it talked about the separation of the person and the art, and how we only have so many people that we can look up to. So when our people fall, that shit hurts.
It hurts a lot.
It hurts.
It does. I mean, seeing Bill Cosby get dragged into prison was not
like that's the
Cosby
dad.
He was the dad of America.
Everyone wanted Bill Cosby to be their dad.
Everyone wanted Bill Cosby.
Everyone was like, yes.
Father. And then he goes and does this, and we're like,
really?
So does that mean we can no longer even watch? You know, like we can't even see what Lisa Bonet is up to? Like, what does this mean now that Bill Cosby
as a people? Right, because it's like whatever white people choose to do. Because the reality is, Harvey Weinstein is a hell of a lot worse than Bill Cosby. And I have to be honest. People can like me or not like me after this. I don't care. I still don't think he did all of it. I'm sorry. I'm a Bill Cosby. I am sticking with it. I'm the person who says OJ didn't do it. Michael didn't do it. Bill Cosby didn't do all of it. R. Kelly, that nigga did it. Like, he did it. You know, he did it. However,
I will not. The reason why I would never argue with you for that is because, for instance, people like Bill Cosby, I grew up with him. And it's hard. It's kind of like this idea of Santa Claus. Now, I never believed in Santa Claus, but
neither did I.
You know, just to say, yeah, that was not taught, you know, in our household to believe that Santa
some fat white man on his lap.
Just coming down your chimney.
But this idea of, you know, your childhood and the things that made it good and positive, he had a lot to do with my happiness as a child.
Yes, he did.
Now,
Thursday night.
You know,
Thursday night, you in front of the TV.
I didn't know what he was doing off camera.
If he did this stuff, I don't know he was doing it.
I know he was doing
it. It has nothing to do with me
or my life. And that's the part.
And it's tough because when one of our own falls, it falls. And I have to tell you, the R. Kelly thing hit me. Right? Like, listen, we all knew. We knew it. We knew in the community. We knew he was peeing on the 13-year-old girl. We knew it was wrong when he married Aaliyah at 15.
Why didn't she move?
Boondocks.
We knew. We just knew. However, it is very difficult when one of our own falls. And I've been in a bit of a dilemma with the R. Kelly situation, because I won't lie. When it all came out and I watched the first one,
I was it was disturbing. It was
disturbing. I was emotionally shaken by it.
It was a lot worse than what I have ever really imagined.
I didn't know it was that. I knew it was that, but that they got into some.
It disturbed me to see that people were in cahoots and making sure that this was working,
helping him along this
and they were also black people, and some of them were the actual caregivers of these girls. That disturbed me more so even
okay,
more.
if you're gonna arrest R. Kelly, why don't you arrest the whole crew that was
everybody
him? And the parents that knew what he was doing and
they do
to him anyway.
Enablers, right? And everybody wants to be famous, and people, because I was like, R. Kelly probably wouldn't recognize his name on a piece of paper, quite frankly. The man is illiterate. Like, he can't read. Great artist, great, one of our greatest artists of all times is R. Kelly. And so for me, I was, I'm a Step in the Name of Love person. I don't care where, if Step in the Name of Love could come on at church, I'm getting up as the pastor going and I'm stepping in the name of love. Love it. When it came out and I watched it, I was so emotionally shaken. Like, I deleted all R. Kelly off of my phone. Like, I was like, I can't. It's too much. I understand. Yeah, it was tough because I'm like, who was there to protect the Black woman and all the things that went on with us? And I have dated a narcissist. I put it on my IGTV, like, who controls it. Like, it was so interesting to see that. Now, recently, listen, look, R. Kelly is a great artist, and his music has been coming through my headphones and I haven't skipped it. And there's part of me that feels guilty, because I'm like, I really should probably skip this song or not like it or something. However, it's R. Kelly. And I'm like, I'm supposed to, like, where do we draw the line between the fact that Robert Kelly is fucked. Robert Kelly should have been helped. And if Robert Kelly had been helped, R. Kelly's, terror that he did would have not happened. But R. Kelly is a musical artist, and Robert Kelly is the man. So do I stop listening to R. Kelly?
A lot of people are still on Team OJ. And they still say, listen, whatever happened, but he is still one of the greatest football players of all time.
See, but OJ was one of those Black guys that got tricked.
He did get tricked.
He got tricked real good. He thought he was one of them.
He thought he was full on accepted.
He was dumb. But he was still, but at the same time, you can't take away the masterness they did on the field.
Exactly. And for me, so I've decided, and this is weird, I've decided to say, hey, you know what? OJ was a good football player. Hey, you know what? That Aaron Hernandez, he was a good football player. But they might have done some stuff that's not good.
So great!
They could play football.
But their job, they did well. Bill Cosby.
Michael Jackson, I don't know what he did.
I don't know what he did.
I don't want to hear it.
Didn't do that shit.
Great
he was
artist.
One of the best artists of all time.
He was.
Like, we can't take it away.
You can't take away that.
You can't take it away.
R. Kelly has one of the best voices in R&B, hands down. I mean, there's some things you just can't take away.
He
was gifted.
And just to help people understand, because of course we have some Caucasian white people that watch the show. Remember, John Lennon is not innocent. Elvis Presley
married Priscilla when she was a teenager.
They all either married their wives at 13 years old, or they, sexually abused or beat up the hell out of their wives.
Mm-hmm.
So
Woody Allen. Let's talk about Woody Allen for a second, and the fact that he married his adopted daughter when she was barely an adult. So let's not act as Harvey Weinstein. We all know that he's a disgusting little rapist. Okay,
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, their films are still, because stupid Weinstein. Movies, a lot of them, like a lot of the rom-coms and things that girls are watching that we all love. It's like, dude, his name is tied to that movie. Are you gonna stop watching it?
Oh no, they're gonna keep on watching
it. Another one. Do you remember Seventh Heaven?
Yes.
Oh, and the father is a pedophile or something. Did they stop showing his shows? No. They did not. But some people stopped showing The Cosby Show. Yes. Why?
I think even didn't Netflix.
So you're a pedophile, and here's a man who supposedly raped women who are adult age by giving them Quaaludes. He may or may not have done that shit. Okay, I think.
Well,
maybe not too much. and you have a straight up
I do have some reservations
who violates children.
Women, but I won't say it here, but because it's a bit too touchy. But I do have my own personal beliefs about these women and
I don't know
whatnot. But we should be able, for me personally, I can take the art away from the person. I can separate the two. Sorry.
That's okay.
Because at the end of the day, you look at a Van Gogh painting, you look at, Versace clothing. These men, they all have a trash moment in their life.
You know I love my art.
No one is innocent.
No, I love my art. And I think it was, there's a painter, I don't know, it's not Dali, but it's another painter. And his whole career, all he painted was young ballerinas. Because he was obsessed with young 13-year-old girls.
Yes.
I forget his name, but that was his thing. His paintings are still in museums, still worth loads of money.
And that's why I'm saying
no one is saying anything about him.
So if it's okay for the French and Italians, whatever, to accept their artists regardless of their pedophilia, then why can't we still listen to Step in the Name of Love?
But even my white guy friend,
why can I still listen to Ignition?
Is still all R. Kelly. I mean, when I used to work at my old job, he would blast R. Kelly. I'd be like, dude,
I know people that don't.
Are you playing R. Kelly? He's like, I don't care. And he's really blunt. He's like, he didn't do it to me, so I don't care. And he blasted even more.
I went to a Christmas party 1 year. This was after it was like, oh, R. Kelly. And people were requesting. I heard Ignition about 4 times that night.
Funny, because
it was coming from black and white.
Yeah, black and white.
Ignition again.
Do you know?
Like, listen,
actually, after that special, well, no one can. Sadly, the truth is, after that special, his music
went up.
He made money.
Because people were trying to figure out like what. Because remember, there was some of the songs remember that young lady who talked about. Yeah, that song. She was like, well, the song was made about me.
Came on. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that jam.
Like, the only thing that disturbs me right now about R. Kelly was, the marriage to Aaliyah. That disturbs me. And what disturbs me is the origin of the song "You Are Not Alone," which you wrote for Michael Jackson. To know that it was about a young little girl getting an abortion because he raped her,
and she got herpes.
That sort of stuff disturbs me, that sort of stuff. But again, I can take that away from the art.
The whole him stalking girls in malls, that was kind of strange too.
Yeah, it's like this man had problems, yet no one was out there trying to help him.
No one saw
But here's the thing. People have a shrine to Elvis Presley. Like, I literally was watching CNN this morning, and they were talking about his home being opened up so people can come out, and they're having this amazing, the Graceland, and they're having this tribute for him or something when it's his birthday.
I will take my money, and when the place does open up, I will happily go to Paisley Park where Prince lived, and I will treat that as my Graceland. I'll go to a real Graceland.
Right? And so it's like, it's okay for the others to have flaws, and it's okay for the others, but not for us, because we're held at a certain standards. And go back to the Black AF episode. Kirsty, you're so right. Kenya came from a school of thought that when you study film, the film that they're studying are not our films.
No,
they're not studying our films. No. So the discernment that he has about what's good and what's bad, and what Rotten Tomato things, and all of these different things, that doesn't necessarily apply to us, because they weren't thinking about us.
Exactly.
They weren't thinking about the movies that, like, they wouldn't have necessarily made a Girls Trip. And Girls Trip was phenomenal.
Right.
Girl.
Exactly. They would not have made these movies if a Black person didn't come out and say, I'm going to write this movie.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, but Steven Spielberg was not going to go write this movie. The only person I know that saw something great in, say, an all Black cast was, Frasier.
Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, it was Girlfriend.
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer.
And the football one. What was that movie? That was
Game.
The Game. Yeah.
The Game.
Yeah, I love Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer did a damn thing.
There is these people are funny, and their lives are so different than my life.
Right.
We need to show this. So he decided to tell the story. How many white producers, directors are trying even to help us tell our story?
And so therefore, if you've got those allies like a Kelsey Grammer, because Girlfriends is one of my top TV sitcoms of all time. Love it, love it, love it. I always wait for it to come back. Love it, right?
Was everything.
So if you've got allies of ours who are saying, hey, we need to show the Black experience because the Black experience is different than ours.
Yeah.
And so for me, when you are a Black producer, writer, or so forth, you're supposed to show our experience. And guess what? If white people don't get it, they don't get it. I don't understand the Asian experience. I am not Asian. I don't understand the white experience. I'm a little white, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's another episode. That's another episode, girl.
Like 1/8. So that's a story for another day. But like, I don't understand the white experience. So when I see certain movies, I go, well, I don't get that. Or I won't lie. I'll say something that's real white, right? Because that's the white experience. It's not my experience.
Exactly.
I won't discount it, but it's not my experience. I look at others to be able to show our experience. When I was writing my book, I wrote from my experience as a Black woman and a Black relationship and the things that happened, right? It was based on my experience. So again, Tyler Perry again said it best. Why do we constantly look for validation from other people?
Right. From anybody, for that
matter. And that's the thing, it's sort of like one of our older sisters, she loves African soap operas.
That's her jam.
Oh my God, my mother.
Yes, she loves it. It's her jam.
She loves it.
And the thing is that no one is expecting, your white girlfriend to come and be like, yeah, I want to watch this and understand it. It wasn't meant for them. It's meant for a specific niche within the Black community. It's not even for the entire Black community. No. It's for a niche within the Black community. And they're fine with that. They're not trying to win an Emmy. They're not trying to get on CBS. They're just making this for that niche of person, that genre of people. And it works.
It works fine.
Exactly. So at the same time, why is it that we need to appeal to the masses when we don't have to?
We don't have to.
It's not for you. Like when I wrote my book and I categorized it in Amazon, I put it under African American erotica.
Right.
Like for Black, for urban. Like it's not for you. May not understand it. I'm happy when other people buy my book from, I've had several white people reach out to me and say they bought my book because I put it on LinkedIn or other platform. Yeah. And I think it's great. Thank you so much for the support. But I put it in a category because I wrote it from the perspective that is of me. You will I don't understand those Harlequin novels with the Fabio looking guy. I don't get that.
There's no relation there, so
I don't. It's not for me, right? Exactly. No shade, not for me.
Yeah, exactly. No disrespect to them.
And that's the thing with shows we go back to like Black AF. And the way how he talks to his kids,
I love it.
The way how they behave, and I say to people, I'm like, listen,
that's a Black house.
I grew up with Caribbean parents, and the same way they'll look at you and say, you know what, Jesus is gonna come down and knock you down to the ground, and you're gonna get hit by a bus because you're disobeying me.
Well, even with Dad, sometimes Dad, when I was younger, especially, I was a fast mouth, and my dad would always say, "You see, one of these days, someone's gonna box you in the face." You don't change your attitude.
Yeah. This is the way how
exactly
we talk to each other.
Now
it's not abuse.
Right.
It's just
now in white culture, they look at it and they're like, "Oh my God! Like,
how dare you?"
They clutch their pearls, right? And it's like, no, that is literally how Black children grow up.
I watched an interview with Kenya, and he was saying that he would rather talk to his kids like that himself and let them know than his kids go out there and they start running their mouth and then they get a clear roundhouse box. It's better you tell your kids before they find out the hard way. Like life's just gonna. Oh, that show.
No, and it's different. Awesome. It's different experiences. And so for when you think about it, the supporting everything Black movement. Again, we're not saying don't spend your dollars in other places.
Exactly.
If you have an option and it's a good, and let's be sure, it has to be a good option. Yes. Can't be a crappy option. I'm not about to spend my hard-earned money on a Black business that really is going to give me a crap product. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just because I work way too hard for my money. Because again, we're always at 150%. So if I'm always at 150%, I'm not about to go be spending my money on a bad product. However, if there is a viable option, and again, I'm seeing Fenty and I'm seeing, I don't know, whatever, Kat Von D or something. Right? And Fenty's 42 and Kat Von D's 40. I'm by the $42 Fenty. The $2 difference does not make a difference to me, because I understand that me spending that money means that other Black people are going to be employed. Right? She's going to employ their people that are going to make money.
That look like her.
She's making a point, so it's relatable to our people.
So support everything Black.
And sometimes it's hard. There should be no backlash.
No, there's plenty of backlash. Like Issa got so much backlash, and I was doing some little research for the show.
Look, she's not prejudiced. She's just saying that she supports all things Black.
Don't ask me a question if you don't want to answer.
For all things white, that's their business. I don't care.
But then people do support a lot of things white. How many how many white people could we talk to that probably haven't seen come into America?
Oh, girl.
Oh, and that's a very good example of, something that's instilled in Black culture. Like, for instance, if I get up and I start going, can we talk?
Girl!
For a minute.
Now, if you're if you're in a room with a bunch of white people, what will happen? They don't even know what you're talking about.
Who?
They're like,
who?
Because it's a part of our culture. Like, we have to start owning our culture too. I think that this is just showing us we need to own our culture. We're building culture and we're giving it away freely.
That part.
And getting it stolen from us.
Stolen.
And we're not owning it.
No.
Own our culture.
We're letting it go.
I'm like, listen, wigs, it's Black.
Wigs are Black.
Wigs are Black. That belongs to us.
Lashes are Black. Hella lots of jewelry, guess what? Black.
Like, own our culture and be proud
Fashion,
of it.
I'm gonna say it.
That's
Black.
the part. Own it, own it, embrace it, because a lot of the times when it's taken from us, we're like, damn, right? Like, you listen to the Sam Smiths of the world, like, great voice.
Yeah.
But we know he studied Black music.
However,
to get that.
Justin Timberlake, Britney,
Black music. Listen, let me tell you something about, let's talk about Tina Marie for a second. I'm going to talk about Tina Marie. I'm going to tell you, I didn't know Tina Marie was white for a very long time.
She did a very good job, from her appearance to her voice to her movement to imitate. I mean, Madonna said that, look, man,
she would go to black clubs.
I went to Black clubs.
And she would see what they're doing. And she would just mimic
my
that.
music was funky because every producer I ever used on my
was
music
Black.
was Black. Like, we're not embracing our own culture. We're looking at the white face and saying, oh, this is white. But the truth is, if you look behind that white person, there's usually about 12 black people that took care of their fashion, took care of
their dance moves,
the marketing, everything, and made it basically a white Black person.
Basically.
Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber.
All Justins.
Kim Kardashian.
All the Kardashians. All the Jenners.
All of
them are Black.
All the Jenners and Kardashians and all of that. It's true.
All of them, they're in a black blender and they blend it up and they come out.
Any woman, any kind of, any white woman that has a very soulful voice, from Adele to Kelly Clarkson.
Joss Stone, Black.
Joss Stone. They sat there and studied Aretha Franklin, and Whitney Houston. Those are their influences. And they are not, and the thing is, they're not afraid to say, I'm influenced by Whitney Houston. She's my favorite vocalist. Yet, we don't want to own that we buy Black.
I don't know why. Like, what's so wrong with promoting that you
because, and it goes back, Black. Hey, listen, that term white gaze was the best term I've heard in a very long time, because of white gaze. A lot of people feel as if I want to be a part of, I need to embrace something outside of me, and that's not the thing. No. How are we ever going to rise as a people? If, listen, that study, and if people look up that study about money recycling in communities. Yeah. Our community is the worst community for money recycling in our community. Mm-hmm. The moment we're getting money in our community, we're helping other people build communities. And then we wonder why in the hell the Black community can't get our own, but once we get it, we're taking it and giving it to everyone else so they can build their communities. Yeah. So I make a conscious decision that my Black dollars are going to stay as much as possible. If I have to recycle that bitch 4 or 5 times, great. But I'm not going to recycle it once. I'm not going to get my money and then go to the Asian, hair store and the Asian this and the Asian that. I make a conscious effort to say, if I earn my money, how can I give it to another Black person who hopefully gives it to another Black person? Because I've witnessed how the Jewish community and the Asian community work. They're so interconnected. Like that's a study to watch how they make sure that money is recycling in their community.
It's a gorgeous thing to see. They love each other and they support each other 1,000%.
It's the way to keep the culture alive.
Definitely.
And no one's saying that they're anti anything because they support their community. Are Jews anti-Christian or anti-Islamic or anti-whatever because they choose? No. So why do people think that we are somehow anti-white because we're pro-Black?
We want to support our own people.
The thing is, we need to start making it normal
to
support our own. They're going to keep saying that until we make it seem normal that, well, of course this Black lady is going to that boutique owned by a Black woman because Black support Black. And we have to make it normal. We have to embrace the culture and say, I'm doing this for the culture. Let's not make it just a hashtag. Let's actually do it. And then it will become normal to society and they will shut up about this, oh, you're anti-white, because doesn't
make any sense.
We can't be
anti-white. So we can't support our own people because they're going to feel that we're prejudiced?
That part. And I'm conscious of the time, but you said something, and I'm gonna add it. You said something earlier about generational wealth. That is the only way we build generational wealth. The only way we continue to build generational wealth is to make sure that we're very wise about how we choose to spend our money and with whom. If we keep giving it away to others, they're gonna keep building generational wealth.
Yes.
Okay, listen, the Kardashians and the Jenners and the whomever have more than enough money for several lifetimes.
They sure do.
Okay? Stormy and all those
Kylie
kids
Jenner
never
does not
have
need your money.
work.
Kylie's
money. Okay, they have enough money. So why do we keep giving money back to these and fashion houses that don't even have runway models that look like us? Why do we keep doing that? We need to stop, because the only way for us to get to that point where we can make decisions that impact our community is through our damn dollar. The dollar is everything.
We have power because of that dollar. That's how we're going to make it.
And you better wield it very damn well, or else we're going to be having, our kids are going to be sitting here having this talk show talking about why can't we build generational wealth.
Exactly.
No,
it's true. It's so true.
We need to be very, very conscious about how we choose to spend our dollars. If you're saying that you want us to rise and build, it's the dollar. There ain't nothing else but the dollar that's going to allow you to do that.
Contribute.
Pay. Don't trust.
For the culture.
Do for the culture.
Do it for the culture.
So we are going to wrap up. We will do our
takeaways.
Takeaways for the day.
My takeaway is that whenever I can, when I'm researching to buy, I'm going to see who Black is selling what I need, and I will make my decisions. But I'm always going to seek to support my culture.
Yeah, I'm the same with you. I'm just going to continue to do my best to support Black business, because like you guys were saying, with the dollar, we have the power. And this is the only way we're going to be able to build wealth within our community and have success. So I'm going to support Black as much as I can. I will continue to support Black.
Listen, I'm with Issa on this, and I'm with Tyler Perry. One, I'm here to support everybody Black, and I don't need the validation of others. Writing my book, I don't need the validation of white people to tell me that it's good or not. Like I'm not seeking that validation, because I didn't do it for them. Like Tyler Perry doesn't make Medea for them. I didn't write my book for them. I didn't create a business for them. No. I created it to be able to help, clearly myself, but also my community to be able to uplift and to create a legacy. Because every time we do something, we are creating a legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to create in this world? And maybe that's another topic that we have.
That's a good
one.
What
kind of legacy do you want to create? Like, our legacy is going to be very important. Everything that we're doing right now is building our legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to create? Because that legacy that you create will impact generations to come. So that's my 2 cents. And if anyone's watching, whatever topics you want us to talk about, please let us know. Because we are doing it for the culture. Okay? Because we're doing it for the culture.
Yo, Kenya,
we are doing it for the culture. We'll see you next week. I gotta go and look for my house. Thank you, ladies, for deciding to change the show for me. It was amazing. I will see you next week because we're about to rule the world and we're doing it for the culture. Mwah!
Mwah.